Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about finishing a project, and this time how to weave in ends and finish your cast on edge and your cast off edge. In the example I'm using a yoga sock for showing it. So here we have that project, the yoga sock. You have finished the yoga sock here in the middle. The strands are neatly woven in to the inside. So now you only have to weave in the tails ends of the cast off and cast on edge. This is your cast off edge, and of course you want to merge it nice into each other. Then you can make use of those V shapes. And this is your last one, and the one you pulled the working yarn through when you were finished, and this is the first one. So we are going to use those V shapes. You are going to let them flow into one another. You look closely. This is your last stitch here, and this is your first stitch. So you'll see that's a little bit slanted here, and that's your first cast on stitch of your first stitch. And we're going to take that one underneath the V shape alone. Look here, you actually see it. Here it goes underneath and it comes back again, and we are actually just going to copy that. You put your needle and yarn properly under the V shape. At sometimes a moment of searching, you pull your working yarn through. This is where you started. Here you see the yarn coming out of the last cast on V shape, let's call it that way. You go back in there, and then you make the stitch as big as the rest of the cast on stitches, and you take a look. You pull at your working yarn, and you keep on pulling until it is as big as the other stitches, and you check again, and if it is as big, you go one stitch down, you make a knot, and if you're not sure that your knot is done the right way, you just do another one, again one stitch down, tighten it, and you will weave in your yarn or tail's end in again. You can also say that I just take a part of the stitch and weave it in on top of it. So you can do the same as here with your ridges. You weave in, just taking one part of the stitch, so one strand, and then you cut off the yarn. You can do the same thing with your cast on edge. It doesn't always need such an extra V shape. That also depends on which cast on you have used. You just take a good look. If you do need it, you actually do the same thing as you did with your cast off edge, so that the stitches flow neatly or overflow neatly into each other. And also here you adapt the stitch or adjust the stitch to its environment, so that they all look the same. So you keep on adjusting until you are satisfied. If you are done, you go one down again, you make a knot, and here too you can divide the strands. You've been knitting with 2 strands, so you finish one strand first and then the other. Especially if you work with thicker material or with multiple strands, then that's a good solution or option. Then you weave in one in one direction and the other one in another direction. Even if you have a very thick yarn, you can split it and you cut the working yarn when you're ready. It prevents a big bump over here. So now it's a yoga sock you have finished. But of course you also have more projects that could be scarves or hats, actually anything that is knitted in the round. So this was a tutorial on how to finish your project and weave in the ends. Thanks for watching and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.